Well, I suppose this was inevitable. Welcome back, everyone. A few months ago, I finished up my Hard 3 0% growths, full Recruit Survive. If you haven't seen that yet, please watch it. It was the first of its kind, and I am immensely proud of it. Now, I was hoping someone else would step up to the plate for Hard 4, but it doesn't look like that's happening, so we have to do it ourselves. Let's get into it. Hard 4 is more commonly known as Lunatic-Reverse, where Lunatic is Hard 3, and it's generally considered the hardest difficulty setting in all of Fire Emblem. So because of this reverse aspect, we're going to design our avatar as Reverse KBM, but we're sticking with the Archer class, like on Hard 3, and then we're going to get +2 defense with this first choice, +1 strength magic with the second choice, and the third choice is for growth rates, and that doesn't affect us, so I just picked the one I would want in real life. Gotta get that money, baby. Now, because the Archer class has a pathetic 5 move, we can't even reach this Lance Soldier on turn 1, but he can reach you if you move. So actually, you get the best results just by standing still on turn 1. And we do need the Soldier to roll 6 strength, and Jagan to roll 11 strength. Other than that, this chapter is pretty straightforward, and then Prologue 2 is exactly the same as it was on Hard 3, because we just have 2 Archers to control. So let's talk more generally about what we're doing instead. What is Lunatic-Reverse? It's the exact same hyperinflated enemy stats as on Hard 3, aka Lunatic, but the reverse part is that even on the player's turn, the enemy will always attack first in a round of combat. And you'll see that at the very end, when I finally attack Jagan on player fate, he's going to hit me first. This is a huge problem, and it dramatically changes the way you have to play. Think about it, every time there's a low health enemy that you want to finish off, oops, you have to let them hit you first. And what does the game give you to help with this outrageous condition? 1 extra stack of vulneraries. Although, on the other hand, when you beat the game, or at least when I beat the game on Hard 3, it unlocked not only Hard 4, but also the ability to buy 3 of every stat-boosting consumable in the armory in between chapters. And it also unlocked full reclassing for male units, whereas before, each male unit has access to only 1 of 2 sets of reclassing options. I'm not sure exactly what unlocks that stuff, but I unlocked it when I beat Hard 3. Now, I wanted to do that Hard 3 run totally vanilla, like if you just bought the game and brought it home, and then tried to do it. So we're going to continue to not use the Rainbow Potion or the How's Everyone Doing thing like we did then, but it's simply not possible to have Hard 4 unlocked without also having the armory stat boosters and full reclassing unlocked. So to my mind, the quote-unquote vanilla Hard 4 includes those things. So we are going to use the stat boosters and the full reclassing. In particular, we'll be able to max out Katarina immediately with the Spirit Dust instead of waiting for the secret shop in Chapter 21, like we did in Hard 3. But I don't want to spoil too much about that. Okay, so we're playing an Archer, like we did on Hard 3, which is generally considered a terrible class in Fire Emblem, but we'll see a ton of extra value on Lunatic-Reverse, because any ranged class can safely attack a lot of enemies without being countered. I originally wanted to do this with a mage avatar, but they're just too fragile and I couldn't make it work. Nosferatu especially becomes even more amazing in this run, because you get the full benefit of the heal even on player phase, since the enemy always hits first, which is incredible. But yeah, the mage avatar didn't work out, maybe somebody else can do it. And as we saw in Hard 3, the Archer avatar brings a ton of extra value throughout the run. Unfortunately, Prologue 2 here is pretty boring. We're just bouncing the enemies back and forth between the archers, not much to say. But it definitely gets way more interesting after this, I promise. Alright, so Prologue 3. This one's challenging because you have almost no room to move around. I don't know if you can beat this one with Archer Avatar without the +2 defense, that's why I got it, and some other stuff later. Because recall that the AI prioritizes dealing damage the most, and I just can't manage aggro properly if the Avatar is a more appealing target than he is right now. The opening moves by the enemy are not consistent because they're making some coin flip decisions, but that's life. We're going to let Luke chip this guy down and then seal him off from danger. This mercenary has to move into the pocket here rather than to Ryan's left, because look at how little room we have to maneuver. It was actually pretty tough to set something up where both archers can hit this guy without stepping onto the red tiles. Luke is going to move down to the fort, because he's the only one who can survive a round of combat against Sita at all, because she doubles everyone. And that is only true if he has the lance equipped to prevent Sita from getting weapon triangle advantage. See, he would be very dead with the Iron Sword equipped. Now, when an archer attacks a flying unit, the base might of their weapon is tripled before strength and defense are applied, which is pretty nutty, and that allows us to make quick work of Sita with our archers, and then killing this last guy is straightforward with a little trading of the sword. I'm going to be feeding every kill that I can to the Avatar and Sita, because none of the other Prologue units will ever promote. You also may have noticed that I've used all my vulneraries already. The Prologues are no joke. We get a weird yes-no question after this, which decides the boss of Prologue 4, which means the person who's going to be recruited after you finish. I'd be really curious to see how the Prologues look on high difficulties with George, but we are 100% getting the Myrmidon Athena. This chapter is really only possible because Sita has now joined our party, along with an admittedly wimpy healer named Kris. The first thing to worry about here is the enemy archer. We cannot let him get near Sita, so we'll keep him occupied with Ryan, while Sita holds the front line. Thankfully, we finally have a choke point, which makes things significantly easier than Prologue 3. But now look at what's happened. If Sita tries to finish off this Lancer on player phase, she has to take a hit first, which is going to get her killed on enemy phase, even with a heal from Kris. If she heals and waits for enemy phase, she'll kill the Lancer, and another enemy will come in and kill her. This is precisely where having an Archer or Mage avatar shows its enormous value for the first time on Hard 4. Cleaning up these low health enemies on player phase, while Sita heals with a Vulnerary, since Kris is taking care of Ryan. Ryan, however, is able to take these pot shots at melee units across the wall, since he might as well just fight the archer on enemy phase. This shift in the way you read the map is exactly what makes Lunatic-Rev interesting, despite the fact that we'll inevitably be playing slower than Hard 3 due to the higher healing demand. Now, of course, if this low health Myrmidon ran in to fight Sita first, and then he dies, Sita would die to whoever follows up, but fortunately the AI is not that smart, and as far as I can tell, generally, it moves units in a fixed order. Sita, unfortunately, does not double Athena, so we're going to give her a quick break this turn while she heals up, and the Avatar grabs this kill. Luke is able to survive being doubled, because having weapon triangle advantage negates the bonuses of the opponent's weapon rank, which in the case of Athena's swords, is +1 might for each of C, B, and A. So, in other words, fighting a sword enemy on Lunatic, where everybody has A rank everything, with a lance, lowers their might by 3, which is an extremely important strategic maneuver. Now the obvious move here is to get Luke out of the way, chip Athena with Ryan, and then kill with Sita, but this is Lunatic Reverse! Sita would get hit first, and go down to kill range, and then die on enemy phase. You gotta think differently, and I had many resets while I was getting used to it. Now it's safe to kill Athena though, since this Myrmidon is pretty weak without his weapon rank bonuses, since he's at triangle disadvantage, and he even gets doubled by Sita. Alright, so that's the first 4 prologues. We're seeing the value of a ranged avatar, and that's only going to continue. If YouTube isn't already going to show you the next video, I put a link in the description. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.